Hello, buddies. How are you? Hope you're all safe and healthy. So, today we are going to learn about the living organisms, their characteristics, and habitats. Let us start with a forest. Think of a forest. What do you imagine? What can we find there? Yes. So, we can find many things. Mostly we find plants and animals, right? But what kind of objects will we find that may not be plants or animals? Yeah, we would perhaps find the parts of plants like dried leaves, parts of animals like bones. We may also find different kinds of soils and pebbles. Water in the oceans may have salt dissolved in it. Look here. In seas and oceans, plants and animals are surrounded by saline water. So what is meant by saline water? Saline is nothing but salty water. Okay? Salty water. Then we are all human beings. We have lungs to just breathe the oxygen which is present in the air. But then how do fishes breathe? Because for all the functions of a body, we of course need oxygen. So most of them, that is the aquatic life, most of the aquatic life use the air dissolved in the water. Let's go to the next part. There is very little water available in the desert. It is very hot in the daytime and very cold at night in the desert. The animals and plants of desert live on the desert soil. Yes, and breathe air from the surroundings. The sea and the desert are very different surroundings. And we find very different kinds of plants and animals in these two regions, isn't it? The body structure of camel helps it to survive in desert conditions. So what are those conditions? That is hot air, hot sand, and very hot and humid climate. Now camels have very long legs. Why do they have very long legs? Yes, to help them keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. Also, they have very long eyelids because during the heavy sand blow, most of the dust flies away along with the air. So, in that case, to protect their eyes from that sand and dust, the camels have very long eyelids. Camels also excrete small amount of urine. Their dung is dry and they do not sweat. Since camels lose very little water from their bodies, they can live without water for many days. Now let's move on to the next part. Let us look at different kinds of fish. Yes, there's the fish. There are so many kinds of fish, isn't it? But everything is unique and every fish is different. But we can find something in common. Yes, all the ones shown, that is, all the fishes have streamlined shape. What is streamlined shape? Having a shape like this. Look here. having a shape like this. See, this shape is known as streamlined shape. The fishes won't have shape like this. They won't be straight. The fishes won't have straight bodies. Most of the fishes have streamlined bodies. So why do they have the streamlined bodies? This shape helps them to move inside the water. Yes. Also, fishes have slippery scales. See, they have slippery scales. These scales protect the fish and also help in easy movement through the water. So what is the function of these scales? Scales protect the fish and also help in easy movement through the water. Also, fishes have flat fins. Look here, they have flat fins. They don't have spherical fins. They don't have cuboidal fins. They have flat fins and tails that help them to change directions and keep their body balanced in water. Now, we have discussed earlier that fishes breathe the oxygen which is dissolved in water. We human beings have lungs, so we absorb the oxygen and we exhale the carbon dioxide. Then, what is the respiratory organ of the fishes? Come on, try to say. Yes, it's gills. So, gills present in the fish help them to use oxygen which is dissolved in water. Right? Now, let us learn about some more terms. Okay? Let us learn about some more terms. Now, we should learn about adaptation. Adaptation. What is this adaptation? Have you heard this word before? Yes. Okay. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is called adaptation. That's it. So let us understand this. The presence of specific features or certain habits. Okay, let us take the example of camels. Normally, every animal is just adapted to its surroundings. As camels live in deserts and their surrounding is covered by sand and hot air and hot climate, they develop specific features over a period of time. So, what are the specific features of camels? They have long eyelids. Yes, they have long eyelids. Then they have long legs. They have long legs. And also they have a hump in which they store their food and water. Also, they do not sweat. This is an important feature. So, all these features enable this camel to live in its place, which is the desert. Yes, so this is known as adaptation. That's it. So again, I'm repeating the definition which is given in NCERT textbook. Right? Okay. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable an organism to live naturally in a place is known as adaptation. So adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling. That is the place where they live. Yes? So maybe the animals which live on somewhere in coastal regions or somewhere like that may not have long legs, may not have long eyelids because their condition is different, their surroundings are different. Yes? Now, the place where organisms live is called habitat. What is it called? Habitat. Now, let's learn about the habitat. So, there are number of habitats. See, we have oceans, we have forests, then we have deserts, we have grasslands. If each habitat is different and each animal living in these habitats are different. Every habitat is unique and every habitat have their own species. Okay? There are several kinds of plants and animals that live in the same habitat. The plants and animals that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitats. So terrestrial always refers to land. Whenever you see the word terrestrial, it always refers to land. Okay, so habitat is the place where the organism lives. The place where the organism lives is known as habitat. Let's learn more about these habitats, right? So what is this? It's a forest. So we have number of terrestrial habitats. Some of them are forests, grasslands, deserts, coastal regions, and also mountain regions. Yes, let's learn in detail about all these habitats in the next video. Okay? Now let's move on to the next thing. There are some changes. Okay? Imagine, for instance, we are living on plains. Okay? We are living on plain or plateau, whatever it may be. We are living on a flat surface. But when you suddenly go to a high mountain, you experience some change, right? The oxygen levels decrease as the altitude increases. So when you climb a mountain or when you go up to a hill, you suddenly experience difficulty in your breathing. So we tend to breathe faster when we are on high mountains. So such small changes that take place in the body of a single organism for a short period to overcome small problems or changes in our surroundings are called acclimatization. It is called acclimatization. Yes. So shall we move to the next thing? Okay, let's move to the next topic. Okay, we have reached here. What are these? Can you guess what are these? What are the main things? You can see the basic things. These are living things and these are non-living things. We can also call them as biotic. We can also call them as biotic and abiotic things. Okay, I'll write here. Abiotic things. So, the organisms, that is both plants and animals that live in the same habitat. Suppose you take as terrestrial habitat. What all you can see? You can see a frog, you can see a monkey, you can see a squirrel, you can see a lizard, yes, you can see a rat, you can see a mongoose. Yes, also in aquatic habitat, you can see fish, you can see octopus, you can see a seal, you can see many animals or organisms over there. Coming to this abiotic resources. Sorry, abiotic components. Let's call them abiotic components. The non-living things such as rocks, soil, air, and water in the habitat constitute its abiotic components. So here we are talking about the habitat, right? Here we are talking about the habitat. Yes, here we are talking about the habitat. So when it comes to habitat, what are the abiotic things? They are rocks, water, air, soil, and many more. So I have a question for you. Yes, are you ready? I have a question for you. Are sunlight and heat biotic or abiotic components? Are sunlight and heat biotic or abiotic components? So do let me know your answer in the comment section below. Okay, so we will go to the next topic. So let's have a journey through the different habitats. That is, we have already seen, right? All these forests, grasslands, deserts, coastal plains, mountain regions. So let's have a brief discussion in the next video. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share it with your friends, do click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon beside it. Thank you. Let's meet in the next video.